Many years ago, we got sent a declassified folder containing thousands of UFO footage, many of which we'd never seen before. We recently came across the folder again, and it's reignited our deep interest in UFOs and alien life. So, we're going to start talking about UFOs and aliens. In this video, we'd like to talk about the very strange events that have been taking place in the skies above New York City. Now, before we begin, we would just like to share something with you. YouTube have not been kind to us lately. We've had our run-ins over the years, but we've always pushed through. However, lately, they've been demonetizing a huge number of our videos, and it's devastating. If you've been a long-time fan of the channel, consider showing your support over on Patreon. We upload exclusive videos, posts, and updates that you cannot find anywhere else. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already done so, lock the doors, grab your tinfoil hat, and let's begin. In 2025, New York found itself at the center of a growing wave of curiosity, speculation, and skyward fascination. Reports of unidentified flying objects, now more commonly known as unidentified aerial phenomena, have increased significantly across the state during the first half of the year. These sightings, documented by the National UFO Reporting Center and reported in local news outlets, range from brief glimpses of metallic spheres to astonishing displays of geometric crafts that demonstrated a fluidity and precision beyond that of conventional aircraft. Although it is not a new cultural phenomenon, the frequency, diversity, and number of sightings in early 2025 captured the attention of both enthusiasts and those previously indifferent to the topic. Witnesses from Staten Island to Adirondacks, and from the beaches of Long Island to rural farms upstate, have described strange occurrences at dusk or just before dawn, when the sky displayed behaviors that were hard to categorize. The National UFO Reporting Center recorded 66 formal sightings in the first 6 months of the year, a figure that is significantly higher than the annual average over the past decade. So, what is going on? Now, while some skeptics argued that the increasing sightings was simply due to a renewed public interest driven by social media trends and increased government transparency regarding military encounters with UAPs, the wide variety of reported events indicated that a more complex situation was and is developing. To fully grasp the unusual events, we'll take a look at some specific cases and the broader context that influenced them. Unfortunately, the UFO Reporting Center has not released any footage yet. One of the most widely discussed incidents occurred on March 25, 2025, in the normally quiet town of Chester, located in Orange County. A local resident who was out for an evening walk with their dog reported seeing two bright white orbs gliding across the sky at an altitude that was too low and a speed that was too high to be mistaken for aircraft or drones. Initially, the witness thought they were observing a pair of fast-moving birds catching the early evening light. However, the orbs moved with an uncanny coordination, and to the witness's astonishment, made a nearly perfect 90-degree turn to the northwest. During this time, the orbs appeared to change shape, with the glowing spherical silhouettes shifting into darker, elongated forms, before vanishing almost instantly. The entire episode lasted only a few seconds, but the witness reported a lasting impression, the feeling that they had encountered something beyond the boundaries of typical aerial behavior. It's worth pointing out that similar pivot-turn sightings have been reported in other parts of the United States, though rarely with such clear details. 3 months later, on June 24th, a very different type of encounter occurred, not from someone on the ground, but from a commercial airline passenger approaching New York City. From their plane seat in the first-class cabin, the traveler looked out of the window during a descent and spotted what appeared to be a metallic sphere moving parallel to the aircraft's trajectory, but at a slightly lower altitude. Based on the passenger's observation and the relative size of the object, it seemed to pass within 100 to 200 feet of the plane, extraordinarily close for any aircraft, especially one that didn't have identifiable lights or an exhaust. The entire interaction lasted only a brief moment, and there was no sign that the flight crew acknowledged the anomaly. This sighting raises a concerning issue regarding modern UAP reports, the possibility of them being in close proximity to commercial aircraft. On this occasion, there was no public radar confirmation, and no statements were issued by the airline or government agency. Nevertheless, this account is consistent with a growing number of UAP encounters involving commercial flights that have been documented globally. Although incidents such as the Chester event and the commercial flight sighting gained significant attention due to their dramatic nature, other reports from 2025 were notable for their subtlety and how they unfolded in everyday life. For example, in New York City, several residents reported seeing silent, triangular shapes drifting above the rooftops late at night. The outlines of these objects were only discernible by the faint edges of dim white light. Unlike the blinking navigation lights and the constant hum typically associated with helicopters and aircraft that usually fill the city's airspace, these objects left witnesses unsure whether they had encountered advanced drones, experimental crafts, or something even more mysterious. In suburban areas, residents reported sightings of green orbs hovering over cul-de-sacs, as well as shimmering eclipses that appeared for just a second before shooting upward at speeds far beyond that of a conventional aircraft. Further north in the Hudson Valley, an area historically linked to wave-like UAP activity dating back to the 1980s, a particularly dramatic sighting occurred on November 4th. Just after sunset, residents in Ulster, Dutchess and Orange counties witnessed a spiraling glowing object moving across the sky in a slow, mesmerizing arc. Videos of the phenomena quickly circulated on social media, and speculation surged. Some believe they had captured the most compelling UFO footage in years. However, within hours, the excitement was dampened when it was explained that the object was actually the visible exhaust plume from the Ariane 6 rocket launch in French Guiana. Due to atmospheric conditions and timing, the plume caught the sunlight in such a way that it appeared to hover and twist above the Hudson Valley. This event serves as a reminder that not every sighting is unexplainable, even in a year marked by many unsolved cases, but also shows the public's interest and appetite for UFOs. Witnesses of other sightings describe patterns of behavior that appeared almost intelligent, with these objects seemingly reacting to the presence of people, light, or aircraft. Others noted that crafts are hovering in complete silence. The concentration of sightings during warmer months also attracted attention. Statistically, late spring and summer tend to yield more UFO reports nationwide, largely due to the clearer skies and more people spending time outdoors. However, the sheer volume of reports from New York this year suggests there might have been genuine increases in activity beyond these typical observational advantages. Some skywatchers believe this trend may correlate with increased satellite launches, atmospheric testing, or military exercises, and while these factors could account for some sightings, they do not adequately explain the full range of reports, particularly those involving sudden directional changes or unconventional movement patterns. It's significant that in recent years, the US government has increasingly recognized the validity of UAP encounters, particularly those captured by military personnel and aircraft, and the establishment of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, indicates a more organized approach to documenting, studying, and explaining these events. And while AARO reports suggest that many UAPs likely originate from harmless, earthly sources, such as drones or airborne clutter, they also highlight that some cases remain unexplained and of unknown source. Something interesting has also happened. The sightings are coming from more credible people, including teachers, nurses, engineers, and pilots, individuals who have nothing to gain from fabricating stories. Many have expressed embarrassment about recounting their experiences, but felt compelled to report them due to how strongly the events defied conventional explanations. In Chester, the witness who observed the twin orbs noted that they had never believed in UFOs and not even considered reporting the event until the following day, as it was the abrupt change in direction and shape that prompted them to take the sighting seriously. Similarly, the airline passenger who encountered the metallic sphere in June mentioned that it took days to process the event before they submitted a formal report. Another aspect of the 2025 New York sightings relates to the technological landscape of the time. The skies over New York, and indeed around the world, are more crowded than ever. With the rise of satellite constellations, drone deliveries, experimental aircraft, and privately funded space ventures, our airspace has become increasingly crowded, and this surge in aerial activity can lead to both genuine unidentified encounters and a higher number of ambiguous and unfamiliar visual phenomena. For instance, large groups of Starlink satellites often prompt UFO reports due to their brightness and synchronized movement during twilight launches. Additionally, drone formations used for entertainment or research can appear very unusual when viewed from a distance, particularly in poor lighting conditions. Even natural atmospheric phenomena, such as lenticular clouds or reflections of city lights on low cloud layers, can create effects that are mistaken for artificial craft. But while these explanations account for some of the sightings, they do not fully capture the extensive data emerging from New York's 2025 wave of UAP reports. Many witnesses have described behaviors or forms that do not align with known objects. Sudden right-angle turns, instantaneous accelerations, silent hovering, and shape-shifting characteristics exceed the capabilities of current technology, and these accounts echo those from military pilots who have encountered UAPs off both coasts of the United States, suggesting a curious consistency between civilian and military observations. As each report becomes public, discussions have ensued. Some local residents express skepticism, attributing the surge in sightings to increased media attention or to individuals misunderstanding satellites and drones. Others viewed the sightings as potential evidence of extraterrestrial visitation, secret military aircraft, or interdimensional phenomena. Astronomers and aviation experts have urged caution, emphasizing the need for more data, reliable detection systems, and greater transparency in reporting. And this tension between curiosity and skepticism has characterized discussions on social media, in town halls, and even within academic settings. Things are definitely changing. Beyond the intrigue of the unknown, the 2025 New York sightings have raised crucial questions about airspace safety, especially in densely populated regions. If unidentified objects, whether extraterrestrial, operated by foreign entities, or engineered domestically, are flying near commercial flight paths, they pose serious risks. Several aviation professionals have highlighted that even small drones or metallic spheres can cause catastrophic damage if they collide with airplanes, and the close proximity of a metallic sphere to a commercial flight in June underscores the urgent need for improved tracking and identification mechanisms, irrespective of an object's origin. Is it only a matter of time before a UFO brings down a plane? Several universities, including some in New York, have started contemplating or establishing research initiatives focused on anomalous aerial phenomenon, framing the issue as one of environmental monitoring, sensor analysis, and human perception rather than solely extraterrestrial theory. At least that's what they say. Despite these developments, one fundamental reality remains. The vast majority of the sightings from 2025 in New York remain unexplained. This does not imply that they are extraterrestrial. Rather, it reflects a lack of sufficient information, such as radar tracking, high-resolution footage, or physical evidence to draw definitive conclusions. Nonetheless, the recurring patterns across multiple witnesses, locations, and times suggest that something beyond mere imagination may be at play. Whether this something is advanced human technology, rare atmospheric conditions, misinterpreted natural phenomena, or truly unknown entities remains an open question. The sightings in New York this year have left many with a renewed sense of wonder. For some, the sightings were unsettling, causing anxiety about unknown objects appearing in familiar skies. For others, these encounters sparked excitement or curiosity, even instilling a sense of optimism. Perhaps humanity is on the verge of discovering something profound about the universe, and a reminder that despite centuries of observation, Earth's skies are still full of mysteries. Now, to all the New Yorkers out there, we'd love to know if you've seen anything this year that you cannot explain in the skies. If so, we would love to hear from you. Now, it goes without saying that surely we are not alone in this universe. There must be others. Maybe not little green people, but civilizations similar to our own, possibly giving us gentle reminders that they exist. What do you make of all this? So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes to the sky, and I'll see you next time.